A team of cops then traced the details of that mobile number and came to know that the number belonged to a youth by name Balaji. A search was launched for Balaji at Banashankari and surrounding areas. The cops finally managed to nab him in a hot pursuit. As soon as Balaji spotted the cops, he was shocked and did not know what to do. He was brought to the Ramamurthy Nagar police station for interrogation. During this, Balaji revealed the truth. He confessed that it was him along with his friend Rajesh who killed Pattabhirama Naidu and his wife Indira in a fit of rage. The cops were shocked beyond belief when they heard this. A team of cops then searched for Rajesh and nabbed him in no time. What is shocking is that the accused are minors. The duo then narrated the entire story, as and how it took place. The duo allegedly gained entry into the home of Pattabhirama Naidu and his wife Indira after befriending them and murdered them on March 3rd for the scientist's money. The boys had met them when a person from Naidu's hometown had sought their help to find the scientist's residence. The guest had come to collect a donation for the construction of a temple in Naidu's village. The scientist took him into an ATM, withdrew rupees 7,000 and gave it to him. The boys who accompanied them to the ATM saw the transaction slip and learned that Naidu had nearly rupees 2.5 lakh in his bank account. Subsequently, the boys hatched a plan to rob the elderly couple and went to their house on March 3rd. Recognizing the boys immediately, the unsuspecting couple let them inside. As the scientist's wife went to the kitchen to get food for the boys, one of them allegedly covered Naidu's face with a bedsheet and began hitting him, demanding money. The other boy later caught hold of her and hit her in a similar manner. The couple died on the spot after bleeding profusely. As a result of head injuries, they were pushed to the walls and hit repeatedly. The cops questioned many people including Naidu's son Chandrasekhar before arresting the boys. The cops questioned Chandrasekhar as he was suspected to have had a strained relationship with his parents. With the arrest of the minors, the cops have now proved that no criminal can hoodwink the law.
In another shocking case, a retired DRDO scientist's wife was murdered. What is the case all about? Let's find out.
March 10, 2014. C.V. Ramanagar, Bengaluru. It was on this day that a shocking incident took place in the locality. The wife of a scientist with Aeronautical Development Authority was stabbed to death inside her house. 42-year-old Rajani Rajmala, who was lying in a pool of blood, was spotted by her neighbor at around 11 a.m. at the Defence Research and Development Authority residential quarters. The incident spread shockwaves in the locality and people gathered in large numbers. One of the people who gathered at the spot immediately informed the Baipanhalli police about the incident. The cops, on hearing the news, arrived at the spot soon after they received the information. They began collecting information about the incident. They suspected that a man who had come to the house killed Rajni after inquiring with the neighbors. 2 stab marks were found on her neck. The neighbor told the cops that on hearing a noise, she peeped out of a balcony to see what was going on. There she saw a man landing on the ground and suspected that he had jumped from the 3rd floor of the building. Surprised by this, she went up to the 3rd floor to find Rajni dead. By the time the neighbor returned, the man had vanished. Though the woman cried for help, nobody came to her aid. The cops also learned that the murder is suspected to have taken place between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Rajni's husband, Pakya Das, a graduate D scientist at the DRDO, left for work around 9:30 a.m. One of the neighbors called Das, who was at work, and informed him about the murder. The couple's children, a son and daughter, were at school when the shocking incident took place. The cops immediately registered a case and swung into action. Teams were formed on the spot to investigate the case. Additional Commissioner of Police, Law and Order Kamal Pant and the other senior police officials visited the spot.
Around 10:30, one lady around 49 years of age has been found murdered in her apartment in a flat in this DRDO complex. Her husband is working as a scientist in DRDO, and on perusal of the place of occurrence, it appears that the entry of the person was not hostile. I mean to say that most probably he was let in. He was allowed to come in by the lady. Subsequently, something has gone wrong, and thereafter she has been assaulted. And it appears that the person has jumped from the fourth floor after coming down on third. We have got some clues in the area on search of the premises and the house. So we are proceeding on those leads. So investigations on. Joint Commissioner East, Mr. Sharat Chandra, is right now supervising the investigation. We have all the ACPs and inspectors of East Division present here. We have already formed 4 teams. We have taken up the investigation in full earnest.
No valuables from the house were missing. The cops also confirmed that there were no signs of a forced entry into the house. Joint Commissioner of Police, Law and Order KV Sharat Chandra took up the task of monitoring 4 special teams formed to investigate the case. Did the assailant jump from the 3rd floor? Meanwhile, the alleged killer who jumped from the 3rd floor had left everyone shocked. The cops during the course of investigation came to know that the attacker was injured after jumping from the building, and there were some spots of blood where he landed. Another team was deployed to monitor the CCTV camera footage in and around the complex to look for suspicious persons. The quarters have a thoroughfare running through, allowing free entry of private vehicles, so there was no way to maintain a log of visitors. The public road has a bus stand and BMTC buses ply here. However, a record was maintained to keep a check of private vehicles entering the area at night. A team of cops who were investigating the case were surprised to get a breakthrough within 6 hours of the murder and even managed to nab the killer. The technical investigation helped the cops nab the murderer. It was on March 12, 2014 that the Baipanhalli cops arrested 33-year-old R. Vijayan for murdering 42-year-old Rajni Rajabala. Vijayan was a resident of Hormau and a family friend of the couple, along with being a former employee of the gas turbine research establishment. You will be shocked to know that Vijayan killed Rajni only because he needed money to pay his credit card bills. But how did Vijayan plan the murder? This is an interesting story. Around 11 AM on the fateful day, Vijayan reached Rajni's home and told her a story of an estranged couple and how the wife was going to end her life. He then made Rajni write a script saying he needed it for a TV serial he planned to produce soon. Vijayan told her to write in Tamil as Rajni wrote about the fictional character penning her suicide note. Vijayan grabbed the letter and said he would show it to her husband. He said that if she paid him rupees 10,000, he wouldn't do it and started blackmailing her. When Rajni refused to give him the money, he whipped out a knife and stabbed her in the neck and fled. Rajni's neighbors did not notice anything amiss until they saw Vijayan jumping from the balcony. He suffered injuries to his leg and spinal cord. He then somehow managed to reach the gate of the quarters and hailed an auto rickshaw to go to a doctor. He abandoned his Honda Activa and this helped the cops track him down. The cops recovered the knife, scooter and 2 gold chains snatched from Rajni. Vijayan is the son of Ramaniruttam, a retired technical officer at electronics and radar development establishment. He was employed as a helper at an NGO, had incurred debts and was finding it difficult to provide for his family. He planned to sell Rajni's ornaments to raise some money. Vijayan was acquainted with the Das family as he stayed at the DRDO residential complex in the quarters his father was allotted. An SSLC dropout, Vijayan later married a Manipuri woman against his parents' wishes and was living separately with his wife and 2 children in a rented house at Agara near Haramavu, from where he was nabbed. In the last 10 days, Vijayan visited Rajni twice and asked for ₹2 lakh, but she refused to give him the money. A week ago, he demanded 60,000 to pay his credit card dues. As Rajni refused to budge, he hatched a plan, killed her and stole her jewellery. In another shocking case, 3 months after the retired DRDO scientist's wife's murder, the Bengaluru North Police seem to have finally cracked the case. The arrest of 2 minor boys has given a major twist to the case.